Guys, a lot of you have been asking about this kit. This is the Southern Specialties BD-14. I guess a lot of you use it. I bought it directly from the website, $34.95, and they call this the Black Diamond series. And just if you're thinking about buying it, a couple things you need to know. First of all, the website doesn't list it correctly. They say there are 14 picks, 2 tension wrenches, and a leather case. And that's wrong in a couple of ways. First of all, you only get 12 picks and 2 tension wrenches for a total of 14 pieces. And the case is plastic. It's not leather. You guys have seen this before. They're making that fashion statement with the red thread. They do double stitch it where it needs to be double stitched, but that's really all you can say for the case. In terms of the picks, these are interesting because these are all 1074 spring steel, and they are 21 thousandths of an inch thick. Typical of any production pick, you're going to have to give it a little tender love and care with some 600 grit sandpaper, maybe some steel wool, but there are no real sharp edges on these things. They're not bad in terms of finish, but they are going to need just a little bit of slicking up. The Black Diamond series comes with this kind of unique zigzaggy or rippled handle. It doesn't really do anything in terms of performance or feel or feedback, but when the light hits it right, it does look kind of cool, I gotta say. And it also lets it sit up off the surface a little bit. They're a little bit easier to pick up when you're fumbling around trying to get the right pick. So you get a standard hook or short hook, and then, you know, I love hooks, so let's go ahead and take a look. These are almost identical. The top one is what I would call a postal hook, very deep hook, and it's got a square tip on the top. And the bottom one is not quite as deep, but it's rounded. Unless you're picking postal boxes, these really aren't that useful, but they can be easily modified into something that is useful. I probably would maybe shorten this one up just a little bit, but that postal hook on the top, I would take quite a bit off of there, and I would turn him into my medium hook. So a lot of possibilities here. You got to have the sandpaper on them anyway. You might as well take some time and do some shaping, convert them into tools you need. This is a lifter pick. You guys have seen this before on another Southern Specialties kit. Got a little knob on the bottom to sit on the bottom of the keyway, and you kind of use that as the pivot point. The tip of the lifter pick has got a little V cut in it to fit the key pin for very precise placement. So not a bad little pick. You don't often see that. You get one of my favorite picks. You get a deforced diamond, and when you can get this in the keyway, this is really handy, like a deep hook for reaching way back in the recessed part of the keyways to get those deep hooks or deep pins. And then the last one again needs a little help. This is a half diamond, very thick shaft. So when I would be shaping this one, I'd probably take a little material from the top of that shaft to thin it out a little bit, and therefore define that half diamond just a little bit better than it is. Not a big deal, and too much material is better than not enough material when it comes to removing. S-rake or snake rake, not bad. And then we have an L rake or city rake, and I like to take a close look at these. This one's really well done. They did take a little time to clean them up, so not too bad at all. And then the next two, we started to get into some weirdness. This is the Ball Brothers. On the top we got the ball pick, obviously, and the bottom we got kind of a weird, that also is kind of like a ball, so like half ball offset, I don't know. But the lock does not care, is my point. The lock can't tell the difference between the ball and this weird half ball offset. There's no advantage to this one, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you're going to do it, the block doesn't know the difference if you're using a ball or that offset. Just doesn't care. And then another little bit of weirdness on here as well. These are W rakes for kinetic attacks. Very high angle of attack on both of those. One's a triple, that top one, and then we got a double. Again, you know, you got to question why the extra peak. It really wouldn't make any difference. The lock doesn't care when you're bouncing those pins, so it's kind of a fluff pick as well. So if I were looking at the kit, I would probably say this triple peak and this half offset ball thing, I would classify those as fluff picks. And so these would be the useful ones, at least for a beginning kit. You need a good selection of hooks, and you need a good selection of rakes. No, there's no Bogota there, but this is what you get. $34.95, and when you do the math, that works out to about $3.50 per pick. Tension wrenches. Let's take a look at these. They are the same thickness. You get one L shape with a twist, and then you get a little Z, and they are both the same thickness. They're not even tapered. So this is the thick one. Not a big deal. I mean, these are easy to make out of windshield wiper inserts, but at this price point, I would hope that they would have put at least all 3 thicknesses in there, particularly for a beginner kit. All right, what's the good? 21 thousandths of an inch, that's the good. You can't often find that thickness, and this kit, they're all 21 thousandths. You got a real good selection of hooks, and as a beginner, you can learn to SPP. These are pretty tough, and you got a good selection here. I think that's a definite positive. The bad, $35. That's a pretty high price for 10 picks. The other thing is these are not stainless steel. These are spring steel. So again, at that price point, there are a lot of good picks out there that are made of stainless steel, which is a tougher, more durable material. You only get 1 thickness of tension wrenches. I would have expected the 3 thicknesses. So that another downside. And then you got these junk picks that they just threw in to kind of fluff up things. So there you go, 35 bucks. It's an okay kit, but I just can't say I'd recommend it. If you use it, it's durable, it's the right thickness, you got the right selection, but it's not a bargain, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So there you go. If you'd like to have this, all you got to do is send a comment in the next 24 hours, and after 24 hours, the computer will randomly select the winner, and I'll post it on the U1 page of the website. That's the most efficient way to do it, and you guys suggested it, so that's what we're doing now. Speaking of suggestions, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to call it Bribe the Tribe. You guys are sending some good ideas, so let's keep carrying on with that. For the next 4 days, between now and for close of business on Thursday, if you'll take a few moments and go over the website, look around, and come up with some improvements. I'm going to depend on you guys for this. Any ideas you have, I'd love to hear them. Any content you'd like to see added, if I forgot to put something, if there are gaps, any improvements whatsoever, go ahead and send your suggestions to that email address, and that way we know nobody's impersonating anybody else like they tried to do last time when we gave away the pick sets, the Serenities. So if we use that address, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. On Friday, I will select the best idea, and the winner will get a brand new Sparrows Vorax, $115 value. It's worth every penny to hear what you guys have to say and to hear what your ideas are to make the website better for the tribe. Anyway, fellas, there you go. I appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Good luck on this, and good luck on that Vorax. Thanks, guys.